Breaking news, guys. DJ Moore has been traded to the Buffalo Bills for a mid-round pick. Hold on. Where? Had an ad pop up on my TV. Listen, guys, it has finally hit. DJ Moore is being traded to the Buffalo Bills. We are waiting on word for official compensation of what we got back. According to Adam Schefter, it is going to be a mid-round pick. DJ Moore is going to the Buffalo Bills. This is something I tried to talk about with fans earlier in the season. I tried to warn people that I believed the writing was on the wall for this. I thought this is one that could happen. I've talked all along about how I wanted to keep DJ Moore, but I just felt like the writing was on the wall here. After you draft Romo Dunze in the top 10, and then you draft Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland also in the top 10, Luther Burden early second round pick. To me, the writing was on the wall. You don't pay $28.5 million for a guy to be the third option on your offense. I just never felt like that was realistic. When I made a video late in the season on this topic, so many people told me I was wrong. They told me I was a DJ Moore hater. They told me I didn't like DJ. They told me I was just making stuff up for clicks. Guys, this is the definition of knowledge over narratives. I put in the work and study what I believe is actually going to happen. And I tried to tell you guys why I believed we should prepare for this possibility this offseason. When Ben Johnson took over, the number one target in his offense, it looked like it was going to be Colston Loveland. And when you have Romo Dunze, you have Luther Burden. Also, you got to remember, Ben Johnson loves running 12 personnel, using 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. I'm going to pull up a couple of graphics here that I made earlier in the season talking about why I thought it was realistic. First, let's take a peek at his contract, guys. He only made $7.2 million against the cap last in 2024, 24.9 this year at age 28. Over the next 4 years, his cap hits are 28.5 million a season. And that's for age 29, age 30, age 31, and age 32 seasons where he is making a ton of money. This frees up 16.5 million in the cap this year and over $85 million total. I think I clicked the wrong. Here we go. Wrong. I had the wrong scrolling text on there, but a lot of cap space cleared up here. I'm hoping it's going to be a third round pick. According to Adam Schefter, it says mid round. It says it's a mid round pick. More graphics here on the way, guys. This is the biggest reason I believe the trade was coming. It's the long-term target share here. Romo Dunze is Caleb Williams' favorite target. That's something that's been established. When Rome is healthy, he's the option number one. Now, I also believe here that Colston Loveland can be that number one guy. I think Colston Loveland is a guy who can be what he plays tight end, but he can be a number one weapon on offense. It's not just about being a wide receiver. It's about being a number one target on offense. And we have Colston Loveland and Romo Dunze. Those are your top 2 options. I also think Luther Burden can break out here, and Luther could be a number one type option as well. So you don't pay a guy. To me, it does not make sense to pay a guy $28.5 million a year to be the third option on offense. We can sign a guy in free agency, someone for 5 to 10 million to be the third or fourth option if that's the case. But this has always been my thought. It's not personal with DJ. It is business and the business side of the NFL here that you simply don't pay that much money if a guy is not going to be your number one or number two target on offense. And here's DJ, guys. The stats for 2025 were only his first 7 games. I made this graphic when I made the potential trade video early in the season, but he did put up 600 yards. That's not something that, To me, that's not the kind of stats you need for a guy who's going to make nearly 30 million. He's the highest paid player on our entire roster. I got another stat here for you guys, but to me, it just never made sense to pay that much money unless he's going to be your number one or number two option. I think this is our offense right here, guys. This is what we had last year. Now Olamide Zaccheaus is leaving, but you got Romo Dunze, who's a top 10 pick. You have Colston Loveland, who's a top 10 pick. You have Luther Burden, who's an early day 2 pick, early in the second round. Cole Kmet's the second rounder. We have Jahdae Walker. We can bring in another guy to replace Olamide Zaccheaus. DeAndre Swift can catch passes out of the backfield. It was just always going to be a lot of money for a guy to not be your number one weapon. Now, we all remember what DJ did for us. I think this is where it gets hard, because we all remember DJ making that catch against the Packers. We all remember DJ making one-handed touchdown catches. We remember DJ doing a lot of things, but the writing has been on the wall here, guys. You do not pay a guy $28.5 million to be your third or fourth option on offense. Now, obviously, we're counting on Romo Dunze to get healthy and be better. We're counting on Luther Burden to step up. We're counting on Colston Loveland is 21 years old, guys. He looked like one of the top 5 tight ends in the NFL at 21 years old. But this is the business side of the NFL here, guys. We're clearing up $16 million in cap space. We cleared up $10 million from Drew Dahlman retiring, and there's going to be another $15 million once we release or trade Tremaine Edmunds. I am with Q here, though. I'm really hoping we get at least a third-round pick out of this. It's been called a mid-round pick. I'm going to pull up and see exactly what picks the Buffalo Bills have here, so we can know which one we have a chance at getting. But DJ Moore is being shipped to the Buffalo Bills. He's going to be the number 1 target for Joe Brady and Josh Allen in Buffalo. The Bears, meanwhile, now going to be looking for another weapon on offense, but we have guys already. We have Colston Loveland. Loveland, timeout. I already see a narrative going down in the chat. Loveland disappeared in the game against the Rams. No, Loveland left the game. Loveland got hurt late in the game and I believe he had to be evaluated for a concussion. I don't remember what the injury was, but he was out of the game. He didn't disappear. He was out of the game. It was an injury. But yeah, according to Adam Schefter, it is not a second-round pick. What we're being told here is it's a mid-round pick. The Bills have pick 91. It's the 27th pick in round 3. They have pick 126, which is the 26th pick in round 4. And they have pick 167, which would be the 28th pick in round 5. I will be a little mad if it's a 5th-round pick here. I will be a little bit mad if it's a 5th-round pick. A 4th, I'm not going to be happy about it. But if a 4th round was DJ Moore's market and they shopped him around, they've been shopping him around for over a week now. If a 4th rounder is what we got, then that's what it is. But I would like to see a 3rd round pick here. Let's see what Bull Moose here. He says, blame the Bears idiocracy. They're the ones who gave DJ the contract. That was the market value for a number 1 receiver at that point. I mean, you can't blame them for wanting to extend. Here's the thing, guys. We extended DJ Moore in 2024 before we had Romo Dunze, before we had Luther Burden, before we had Colston Loveland. You guys want to give credit to Ben Johnson for making these picks. Everyone wants to give credit to Ben Johnson for the picks of Colston Loveland, for the picks of Luther Burden. Everyone wants to give him credit, but then you don't realize that when he picked those guys, he's basically saying he wants them to replace DJ Moore, and that Ben Johnson did not see DJ Moore as a long-term fit for this franchise. This is Ben Johnson's offense, and this is what he wanted. So, I mean, the trying to put this on Ryan Poles in this situation is just another weird circumstance where I've seen fans do stuff like this a lot. They wanted to anytime there was a anytime Ryan Poles made a good move, they wanted to give the credit to someone like Ian Cunningham or Ben Johnson. But anytime there's a bad move, all the blame goes to Ryan Poles. I don't like that thought process, guys. I think it's narrow minded. I think you're missing out on a lot of the key points and what's actually happening here. Here's a graphic I made earlier in the season. Okay, 3 wide receivers on the screen, guys. Chat, tell me who these wide receivers are. Wide receiver A, 55 catches, 724 yards, 6 touchdowns. Wide receiver B, 50 catches, 682 yards, 6 touchdowns. Wide receiver C, 92 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 4 touchdowns. All 3 of these guys are going to be, or 2 of these guys are going to be free agents. The problem is the guy in the middle, that's DJ Moore. You don't pay $28.5 million a season for a guy who's catching 50 passes, less than 700 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Especially if, and I know a lot of people believe this, if Ben Johnson believes that Luther Burden can be better in this offense than DJ Moore can, and I believe that, the writing was on the wall here, guys. You have to trade DJ while he still has value. That's one of the biggest things here. Yeah, and there's a lot that goes into these decisions. It's about target share. It's about how much money he's making. It's about what you believe he's going to look like going forward in this offense. 28.5 million is a huge cap hit. Now the Bears still have to pay a little bit of this up front this year, but they will save 16.5 million instantly, and they're going to save over $85 million over the life of this contract. Now I'll go ahead and tell you guys who the other receivers are on this screen. Wide receiver A, that is Romeo Doubs, who the Packers are letting walk in free agency. They didn't think he was good enough to even try to sign a contract for. He had more catches, more yards, the same amount of touchdowns as DJ Moore did this year. And he's a guy who is going to be on the street as a free agent next week, and he's going to make a lot less than DJ Moore's $28.5 million. That's one of the big things here. The wide receiver C, who outproduced both of them, that is Wan'Dale Robinson, another guy who is a free agent, over 1,000 yards. He's also going to get a contract that's a lot less than what DJ Moore is making here. So I think the money is a big part of it here. You can't rule out the money in this situation. Not so little Plank, my man. Thank you for the $5 donation. He says he's glad that DJ's going to Buffalo and not a crappy team. I agree with his sentiment, guys. I think I've said it over and over again that I'm a big fan of DJ Moore. Let me show you guys a little something. Well, I have a DJ Moore autographed jersey. I bought this day we traded for DJ Moore. A mad Panthers fan was giving up on DJ. It is a DJ Moore autographed Panthers helmet, full size helmet here. I am a fan of DJ Moore, man. I've been a fan. I think DJ is one of the coolest guys on our roster, man. Anytime you see DJ, he was our Walter Payton Man of the Year type guy. He's a guy who his daughter always making our social media videos. I am a big fan of DJ Moore. I'm glad he gets to go and continue playing for a winner, because a lot of people didn't realize this is the first year of DJ's career where he's been to the playoffs. He came up with a huge catch in the playoffs, made some big plays. DJ Moore, yes, Buck. DJ Moore is a Buffalo Bill. I thought you've been here the whole time. We still haven't got word on the actual compensation yet, but Adam Schefter is saying it's a mid-round pick. This is what we're hearing right now. It's saying a mid-round pick. Someone is saying a fourth. I'm getting a couple of tweets on Twitter saying a 4th round pick. I don't know if that's finalized yet. I'm still looking for I'm not seeing it official from anybody yet, but they are saying a mid-round pick. I'm hoping for a third here, guys. My hope when I'm looking at what the Buffalo Bills have in this year's draft, a fourth rounder is pick 126. Look, if it's a fourth, we better get those third rounders from Ian Cunningham. That's all I'm saying, man. I think a fourth rounder, I could see why people would get mad. I could see why people would be mad if it's a fourth round pick. Um, I think you got to let Ryan Poles and the process play out here. You got to trust the process, guys. You see what we did last offseason. We brought in Joe Tooney. We brought in Drew Dahlman. We brought in Jonah Jackson. We had one of the best off seasons we've ever had last year, drafting Colston Loveland, drafting Luther Burden. Look, guys, this is Ben Johnson, man. Ben Johnson handpicked Luther Burden for this offense. He picked Luther Burden over DJ Moore. This is one of those things where, no, we did not sign Khalil Mack yet. Free agency does not start until Monday. Now, guys can be signed right now, but you can only sign a player if he was cut. So someone like Jonathan Allen, someone like Tyler Biadasz, those guys could be signed right now. But anyone who's headed for free agency like Khalil Mack or Trey Hendrickson, we cannot talk to them until the legal tampering period begins on Monday. Yeah, I do love DJ, man. But if it's a third round pick here, that would be pick number 91. That would be a top 100 pick. I think that would be fair. I'm still refreshing over here. I'm waiting to see what the actual pick is. Another reason why DJ Moore is going to be happy with this, we got to realize it's about making DJ happy too here. Look, DJ wants to win. Going to the Bills is a good fit for him. He's going to be the number one option over there. He's going to put up, listen, if DJ's healthy this year, he's going to put up a lot more numbers in Buffalo than what he's putting up in Chicago. He's going to get more than 600 yards. He's going to be a legit number one target in the offense. Where staying here, he would have been the number 3 option at best in the offense. Possibly number 4 if Luther Burden breaks out like I thought he would. To me, I think that'll make DJ happy. He's going to be a number 1 target again. He's also reuniting with his former offensive coordinator in Carolina. Joe Brady was actually his offensive coordinator. Joe Brady is now the head coach out in Buffalo. So that does make a lot of sense there. Still, I'm refreshing again here, trying to see if we can find the compensation. All I've seen so far is that it's a mid-round pick. Now look, guys, here's my bottom line on when it comes to DJ Moore and what he does for this team. Keeping DJ Moore, I think it does make you a better team overall. We saw what kind of catches he can make, the clutch plays he makes. We're all huge fans of DJ Moore. We're all going to remember that catch he made against the Packers. It's one of the greatest moments I've ever seen as a Bears fan in my life. But keeping DJ Moore at this point, at $28.5 million, is a luxury. When you have Colston Loveland, you have Rome Odunze, you have Luther Burden, you have Cole Kmet. Jahdae Walker is a guy who can do more with more opportunities. I do think DJ has been one of the better wide receivers we've ever had. I know we could have restructured Lieutenant Traveler. I've talked about it, man. That was one of the things when I made the video about why I thought we'd trade DJ Moore. I said this multiple times. I want to keep DJ Moore. I want to restructure his contract. But when I think about the business side of the NFL, and you see Ben Johnson this last year at the draft, he chose Luther Burden. Luther Burden falling to us in the second round was a luxury. When that happens, Ben Johnson and his offense, he said right there that he believed Luther Burden's the same size, faster, and a similar style of wide receiver that DJ Moore is. And Ben Johnson, the offensive genius that he is, we got to trust Ben Johnson with this one, guys. Ben Johnson is saying he can make this offense work with Colston Loveland, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Cole Kmet, and they can bring in another mid-tier wide receiver. They can sign a cheap wide receiver. They can draft someone in the 4th or 5th round. There's a lot of options that they can do here to replace DJ's 600 yards on offense. Because you got to remember, yes, he had some clutch catches, but his total contribution to this team was 50 catches, 682 yards, and 6 touchdowns. The bottom line is, in the business side of the NFL, that is not worth $28.5 million. And when you look at it going forward, his contract was only getting worse. We only paid him $24.9 million last year. Going forward, he was going to make $28.5 million a season, and we were going to be paying him until he's 32 years old. There's a chance here that DJ's best football is already behind him. He's in the prime of his career. He'll be 29 years old this season. Wide receiver is one of those positions where guys fall off pretty fast. They get to a certain age, and then it's a steep drop off. We've seen it with guys like Stephon Diggs, who just got cut. Guys like Tyreek Hill, who a couple of years ago was one of the elite playmakers in the NFL, and now he's bottom tier, not even worth playing, not even healthy. So wide receivers do fall off quickly. You also look at a guy like Darnell Mooney, who's making big money. Darnell Mooney just got cut this morning. They couldn't even find a trade for Darnell Mooney. That's how the wide receiver market is right now. So now look, man, I'm not saying 29 is old in real life, okay? But when it comes to wide receivers, there's two positions where age ends up being a drop off pretty quickly. And that's wide receiver and running back. Those are the two positions where your body takes a lot of hits. The wear and tear takes a toll on them. And as soon as they lose a step, they fall off quickly. They fall off very quickly. No, Mooney's not DJ Moore. I didn't say anything like he was. I'm just saying you have wide receivers out there making close to 20 million a season, and they can't even go for a 7th round pick. Why is a 3rd round pick considered a great deal here? Good question. I'm going to answer this one. Look, DJ's contract, with it being $28.5 million, with the Bears want to be aggressive this offseason. And one way they can do that is by trading away. We don't know if it's a 3rd or 4th yet. So far from Adam Schefter, we just know that we got a mid-round pick. But the actual pick has not been announced yet. It just says the Bears are getting a mid-round pick for DJ Moore, but no official word on what pick it is. I'm hoping it's a 3rd rounder. I'm answering the question from Matthew in chat. He's asking why, if it is a 3rd rounder, why do I believe that's a great deal? I was hoping all along we could get a 2nd rounder, but I thought it was unrealistic. A 3rd round pick for DJ at this point, it's a deep draft, especially at a couple of positions of need. It's a deep draft at safety. It's a deep draft at center. It's a deep draft on the defensive line as well. You can address one more of our needs. A 3rd round pick, to me, you get a top 100 player. I think it would be a good deal. If it's a 4th round pick, I'm not feeling the same way about it, guys. I would have loved to get a 2nd or 3rd here. I think 3rd round picks are valuable. Ryan Pohl's history in the 3rd round obviously hasn't been great, but this is a situation where it's not just the draft capital you get for DJ, right? You're also opening up opportunities for your younger players on the team. Getting rid of DJ doesn't mean we have nobody on offense. It means more targets for Colston Loveland, more targets for Rome Odunze, more targets for Luther Burden. Also, you can use 12 personnel more and use Cole Kmet on the field even more. And then another guy who could be the biggest beneficiary of this is Jahdae Walker, who showed in his limited playing time last year that he's a playmaker. Jahdae Walker was a guy who you could rely on. He came down with some of the biggest catches of the season, an undrafted free agent who is making next to nothing, he's a guy who can get some targets. And then we can still add, guys. We still have the draft and free agency where we can add another receiver. You could even add. I showed this graphic earlier, but if you look at wide receiver A on this graphic, that's Romeo Doubs. More production than DJ Moore. You could probably sign Romeo Doubs for $7 or $8 million a year. If you wanted another receiver with a similar skill set to DJ, no, Doubs isn't as good as DJ. But if you wanted a wide receiver 4 type, you can get one in free agency. There are guys out there. DJ is better than a wide receiver 4. But unfortunately, in Ben Johnson's offense, and this is why I said you got to trust Ben Johnson on this one, but you also, if you want to be mad at someone, Ben Johnson's the guy you got to get mad at as well, because this is his offense. This is Ben Johnson's offense, and he's saying DJ wasn't a part of it long term. DJ is not a guy that he wanted to build this offense around. He wants to build it around Rome Odunze. Colston Loveland is the guy he handpicked. And Luther Burden, I think every Bears fan that watched last year, anytime Luther Burden touched the ball, you could see something special in this kid. He moves differently. He's explosive. His ability, his yak ability and run after the catch are as good as anyone on this team, better than anyone on this team, honestly. Um, I think he's a stud. I think Luther Burden, his yards per route run is up there in historic categories, as good as guys like Puka Nacua. You want a guy like Luther Burden to have more opportunities. And sometimes that's just the business side of the NFL. And you have to trade away a guy to clear opportunities for other guys. If you look at the Cowboys a few years back, they had CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. And CeeDee Lamb's production was limited. He wasn't the guy he is now because Amari Cooper was the number 1 receiver. They traded Cooper away for just a 6th-round pick back then. They traded him to the Browns. I don't know if you guys remember this, but CeeDee Lamb, after that, CeeDee Lamb became a top 5 receiver in the NFL, and he needed the opportunity. There's only so many balls to go around when you're on offense. There's only so many targets and so many passing plays you have. And when you have a guy like DJ Moore who's making $28.5 million a season, you have to involve him in the offense. Now it comes down to, what does Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, and Dennis Allen do with this extra cap space? What do they do with the extra draft pick we get? But more importantly, free agency's on Monday. And we've now cleared plenty of cap space here. Tremaine Edmunds is gone. DJ Moore is gone. Drew Dahlman retired yesterday, or 2 days ago, I'm sorry. That opened up $10 million, $15 million from Tremaine Edmunds, another $16 million from DJ Moore here. The Bears now, before even restructuring any contracts here, now have roughly $30 million in cap space. So they have room to get multiple deals done here and be very aggressive. Are they going to put that into the defensive line? Are they going to put it into... No, it is not clickbait, man. DJ Moore, anyone late, DJ Moore has been traded to the Buffalo Bills. We're still waiting on the official compensation. According to Adam Schefter, we will get a mid-round pick. I'm hoping it's a 3rd. Some people are saying they think it's going to be a 4th. Let's see. See if Schefter's tweeted anything else out. Here it is. Nope, he does not. It just says Bears trade DJ Moore to the Bills. Still waiting on the official compensation. Luther Burden. Luther Burden just tweeted something out too. Some people are saying this means the Bears are going to get Max Crosby. I don't think it really has anything to do with Crosby. We did when it comes to Tremaine Edmunds, we did not release him yet. There are multiple teams that are apparently interested in trading for Tremaine Edmunds. The Giants, the Raiders, and others, they are interested in Tremaine. It's possible we can work out a trade before Monday. Yeah, more than 30 million. You're right, Levante. I'm just throwing out spitballing where we're actually at and where we could be. Yeah, why doesn't Adam Schefter do his job here and tell us what kind of draft pick we're getting? But Edmunds, if he's not traded by Monday, he will be released. So you could pretty much count that cap money already. The Bears have informed Tremaine Edmunds that they are going to be moving on. But at this point, they're trying to trade him. It's possible that nobody offers us a pick or anything of value. And if that's the case, he will be released. But I'm hoping for a late round draft pick for him. X-Term, I've answered that question probably 100 times and actually made a full video on it. I prefer Trey Hendrickson over Max Crosby due to the simple fact that it would not cost us any draft capital. If you're talking about which one's a better player, Max Crosby might be the guy, but Crosby's also been injured more, 8 surgeries. He's a little bit younger than Trey. I think he's about 3 years. Wait, Kiyu's saying we got a second. Oh, that would be huge. Where's it at? Where's it at? Kiyu, don't lie to me like that. Tom Pelissero, let's see it. Tom Pelissero. I'm checking it. I'm checking it. I'm checking it. The Bills are sending a 2026 second-round pick to the Bears for DJ Moore and a 5th-round pick. Oh, baby! Second-round pick, man. This is huge. That is better than a mid-round pick, man. That is a huge win, guys. A second. Now, we are giving up our 5th rounder. So, we traded away DJ and a 5th for a second-round pick. The Bills' second rounder is pick 60 overall. They have the 28th pick in the second round. Oh, my. You said it first, Levante. I didn't see it, man. I apologize. I saw it from Kiyu. The Bears are getting a second-round pick, baby. Now that we got 2 seconds, maybe they are more likely to trade away a first. But imagine this, guys. Imagine if the Bears could also get a second-round pick for Tyson Bagent. Or if they could get that 5th rounder they just gave to the Bills back in a Tremaine Edmunds trade. Let me add this. I'm going to add this to the ticker at the bottom. Bears get a second-round pick for DJ plus a 5th rounder. Oh my goodness. Second-round pick, guys. That is a huge win. I don't think this completely changes how I'm feeling about this, man. We're saving $16 million in cap space instantly. We're saving now. I see people saying 24 million. That is not true, as far as I know. According to Over the Cap and Spot Track, we will save 16.5 million this year. There will be a $12 million dead cap hit this season, but going into next season, the years after that, we'll save 20 million next year. We'll save 24 million in 2028. We'll save 24 million in 2029. A second-round pick. Yeah, I'm seeing it from Tom Pelissero, J2K. Pelissero's tweeting it out. Second rounder, man. That is huge. I'm going to tweet that out real quick. Bears get a... Yeah, it's Tom Pelissero. Check Tom Pelissero's Twitter. He's a huge guy in the NFL. Get a second-round pick, baby. That's huge. I think that's huge, man. It is sad to see. Look, man, DJ's a guy I'm always going to be a fan of. But this is a Ben Johnson's decision, man. What do you need in your offense, Ben? Can you make... And Ben Johnson chose Luther Burden over DJ Moore. So now we're going to see, what can we do with an extra second-round pick? What can we do with an extra $16+ million in cap space? Now we got cap space. Now we got extra picks. This is now where the Bears have an opportunity to really get something done. Man, I don't think any of us hate DJ, man. You got to separate. Listen, I get it, okay? Let me break this down for a second. I get it. DJ Moore is a guy who a lot of us fans love. I even said it. That catch he made, the catch he made against the Packers, that's going to go down as one of the best not just catches, one of the best moments that I've ever had watching Bears in my entire life. Um, no, it is not a fifth. It's a second round pick, guys. We are getting a second round pick. We're giving up DJ in a fifth. Bears are getting a second round pick from the Buffalo Bills. But listen, nobody's hating on DJ here. I think what I'm trying to get fans to do is separate the emotion here, because anyone who's a Bears fan, it's hard to not love DJ Moore. He is a guy who he's quiet, he goes about his business, he's tough, he makes great catches, and honestly, he's one of the best wide receivers we've had in my lifetime as a Bears fan. If the only reason the Bears are able to make this trade is because of what they've done in the draft the last couple of years. When you take as many big time weapons as they did, and this is what it comes down to here, guys. It's the target share and the weapons they have on offense. When you have Jahdae Walker, when you have Rome Odunze, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, all of these guys on offense, and DJ is making $28.5 million. This is where you can actually make the team better here. It's a win-win situation if you ask me, because you can make the roster better by trading him away. And it's now usually that's going to be something that's hard to do, because if you ask straight up, trading DJ Moore alone, it's hard to make your team better. But now we have $16.5 million extra dollars in cap space to put into the defensive line, or to get a new stud center, or to add a linebacker or safety, bring back some safeties. But on top of that, we have an extra second round pick as well. That is a valuable pick that the Bears are going to be able to add. It's a great draft for a lot of the positions of need for the Bears. But you can also trade away one of these picks. We got an extra second rounder now. Does that make it easier to trade for a guy like Max Crosby? Does it make it easier to, even if you're not trading for a guy like Max Crosby, what if you want to trade away a third or a fourth round pick for a veteran player similar to what they did last year with Joe Thuney? You got extra picks now, and we can still restructure more contracts. Someone just said that down there. Exactly, man. We can still restructure some contracts and clear up even more cap space here. This allows the Bears to be ultra aggressive. And this is one thing I've been talking about, guys. I believe the Bears are going to be very aggressive this offseason, not just because of these moves here, but because right now it is our last time to be aggressive for a while now. When you look at where the Bears are, we are not paying a quarterback yet. And until we have to pay Caleb Williams, this team has an opportunity now to be ultra aggressive. They can go all in this year. They can go all in and spin. They can attack. They can attack the trenches. They can spin big. Whatever they want to get. Look, the Edmunds for Thibodeau thing, it could happen, but as of right now, it's just hearsay. It's the guy who tweeted that out is some guy on Twitter with like 20 followers. I think he had like 30 followers. We gotta not buy into those things. So here's the Bears picks right now. This is before the DJ Moore trade hit, right? They got pick 25, they got pick 57, they got pick 89. Now this is also without adding the potential that we could get these third round compensation picks. If we get a third round pick from Ian Cunningham, things are going to get even better here. But let me show you. Let me pop over to the Bills picks, right? This is the one the Bears are getting from Buffalo. Pick number 60 right here in the second round. This is coming to Chicago. The Bears are getting an extra second round pick for DJ Moore. She Plank gifting 5 Swift Sports memberships, She Plank, the wife of our great friend Plank. Shout out, cheers, appreciate you so much. We do need that third round comp pick. Look, if we can get that third round comp pick, this offseason is gonna go down as a crazy one. Right now, the NFL is holding out on us a little bit. Right now, they're not wanting to give us our picks. But this pick right here, pick 60, you throw that in. Let me go back to what the Bears have. That's going to give us pick 57 and 60. That's 2 picks within 4 spots in the second round. Now, you could package those picks and move up. We could do what we did last year where you take one of those guys, you make a pick with one of those picks, and then you trade down with the other one. But this is giving us a lot more picks. Now, we don't have 9 picks. We are giving up our 5th rounder right here. 164 is going back to Buffalo in this deal as well. So we are getting pick 60. We're trading away pick 164. DJ Moore is a guy. Look, guys, we all love DJ Moore. The Bills are taking on $24 million. I mean, they have to pay his entire cap hit. What you're talking about there is different from what's actually happening here. I guess I could show DJ Moore's contract as well on the screen. So what people are missing is not what we have to pay DJ. It's what happens to DJ's dead cap hit. And that's where I think some people are missing here. I'll go ahead and pull these up on the screen. Give me a second. Okay. This is going to be DJ's contract here. And you see right here, this says if you're trading DJ before June 1st, which we are, you save $16.5 million. Can I make these numbers bigger? Yes. You save $16.5 million here, right? Right below my face. Save $16.5 million. But we have a $12 million dead cap hit as well. It doesn't matter what the Bills are paying from that. That's the dead cap hit portion of this move. But we save $16.5 million instantly. So it does not free up $24 million. This is a trade. This is a trade on over the cap. They allow you to see what the trades are. Now, if somehow, this is my question. The only thing we don't know here, if you cut a player, you're allowed to designate them as post June 1st. I do not believe, from everything I've read, everything I know about the NFL, you can designate it. If you cut someone, you can designate it post June 1st. I do not believe you can do that in a trade. If you can, the numbers change. This is what it would look like if the trade is post June 1st. If somehow we can push the trade back and designate it as post June 1st, which Howie's saying it can, I'll have to talk to Greg about this one. But if you can make it post June 1st, then we save $24.5 million. And the dead cap hit is only $4 million. That we would save a total of $100 million at that point. Yeah, and that's where, the NFL made a rule a couple of years ago, Keith, where you can cut players early. You can cut 2 players a year, and you can cut them at any time, and you can then designate them as post June 1st, and it counts as you cutting them after June 1st. I do not believe you can designate a trade when, just like Q was saying, when the compensation is coming in the current draft. So I don't believe that's the case. If I hear otherwise, I'll break it to you guys as soon as possible. But what I believe, this is what we're saving. $12 million dead cap. We're saving 16.5 instantly, and we're getting an extra second round pick here. So I think this is great. I don't think Odunze's injury prone. I think I think you're going a little out of whack there, Jay Sanders. He had one injury last year. But a guy getting hurt once you don't just instantly qualify them as injury prone. And we have a ton of other weapons on offense. I think a lot of people are missing the Colston Loveland factor here, where Colston is, oh yeah, Tankathon is added in. Here it is, guys. Tankathon has officially upgraded our picks, and you can see it here. This is what we have now. The 5th rounder is gone, but we have pick 25, we have pick 57, we have pick 60. No extra 3rd rounder yet. Maybe if we could get the NFL to put those compensation picks in there, it'd be even better. But here they are, putting them on the board for you guys. Whew, excuse me. Man, having a foot fracture. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Starkey said here, man. A guy that was injury prone, Alshon Jeffrey, always banged up, always getting injuries. John S. Yeah, we've already discussed that. Yeah, the compensation has been clear for about 20 minutes now. We're getting the Bills' 2nd round pick. It's actually on the screen right here. We have picked up pick 60, a 2nd round pick from the Bills, and we have traded away DJ Moore and a 5th round pick. We got a 5th, or we traded away a 5th round pick in return with them. Let me see. It's a tough move, guys. This is one I don't think any fan that's a real fan of the Chicago Bears wanted to trade DJ Moore. Thanks for that. No post June 1st trade designation. I didn't think that was a thing. I didn't think that was a thing. So the Bears are going to save $16.5 million here. I think it's a great deal. I think getting a 2nd rounder, I think you guys heard me. You got to hear the raw reaction here because I went live right after the trade was announced. And before we even knew what we were getting for this trade, we were in here talking about it, that if it was a 3rd round pick, I'd be okay with it. If it was a 4th round pick, I would have been upset. I thought a 4th round pick was not doing justice to how good of a player DJ Moore is. Now, a 2nd round pick here, I don't even care that we're giving a 5th rounder back. A 2nd round pick is gold. That is absolute gold and a huge win here. I'm so happy with this, guys. I think a 2nd round pick is a beautiful, beautiful addition. And yes, whoever's asking do we draft a wide receiver at some point now? Yes. I think we do need to draft a wide receiver at some point, maybe 4th, 5th round. I think that'd be a perfect time to get a wide receiver. You could also, it comes down to what we do in free agency. You could also sign a replacement in free agency, but this is the business side of the NFL. And it happens when you start winning in the NFL, and it'll happen even more after we pay our quarterback. Once we pay Caleb Williams, we're going to have to lose a couple of good players, guys. That's the business side of the NFL. Starkey said it there. What about signing a guy like Romeo Doubs or Darnell Mooney? What if we go out and get Trey Hendrickson? What if we actually do pull off a trade for Max Crosby? There is a lot that can happen here. What if we go out and get Rashid Shaheed, who could take the top off the defense and he can return kicks and punts? I described this already, KG. So, no. Initially, trading DJ Moore does not make our team better. But here's the caveat to that, guys. We now have an opportunity to improve the entire roster. It comes down to, what do we do with this free agent money we got now? We got money now. This is a team that can now be aggressive. We can still restructure a couple of deals and get more money here. Yeah, we know it's DJ in a 2nd or DJ in a 5th for a 2nd. That's already been established. But then what happens afterwards? What do we do with this 2nd round pick? What do we do in the draft? What do we do in free agency? How aggressive are we? Right now, sitting here today, trading away DJ Moore, that does not make us better instantly. It doesn't. But with how this roster is structured, having guys like Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Rome Odunze, Jahdae Walker, we have the talent available on offense to make up for the loss of DJ Moore. So now, what do we do with the assets we acquired? What do we do in free agency? What do we do with these draft picks? Like J2K says here, another point I was about to add. This is a really good draft in the second round. I think it's deep enough it goes into the second round, and it's one where it's also deep at positions of need for the Bears. A lot of positions that we're hurting at right now have depth into day 2, where there's going to be guys who can help us out in round 2. And I'm talking about a couple of positions here. Defensive end, there's going to be edge rushers still available in round 2. Defensive tackle, there's some guys who can help us improve that interior of the defensive line in the second round. Also, linebacker, safety, and center, all positions we need that's deep into the second round. J2K said every one of those. Now, I would throw center in there as well. I think center actually picks up. If you look at late second round to the fourth, there's going to be 5 or 6 centers taken. There might not be a center taken in the first 50 picks. Probably not. But once you get to late second, early third, there's going to be a handful of centers that all go off the board pretty quickly, I believe. And, well, Doug, this is what I was talking about. You kind of taking me out of context there. Yeah, I think third round is the center spot. You're right, J2K, but it's deep. It's deeper than the second round. So getting the second rounder, we can even trade back and still get a center there. But left tackle is not deep into the second round. If we wanted the left tackle, we probably have to take him at pick 25. Like J2K again, we're dead on with our thought process there. If you really want a left tackle, you probably have to take him at pick 25. That's the one position that's not deep into the second round. The other positions I was talking about, when it comes to defensive end, it comes to defensive tackle, it comes to safety, and it comes to linebacker, those are all positions that have depth where you can find players who will help us out with that second round pick. And we got two out of 4 picks right there. We got 57, then we're going to go 2 more picks, 58 and 59, and we're going to get to pick again at 60. Almost like we did last year when we had 2 picks almost in a row. So it's pretty much a similar opportunity what we had last year. I think if you would have told me we could get a second round pick for DJ, I would have told you he was gone a long time ago. Now, personally, I see people asking about center. I think we should address center in free agency. I would love to grab Tyler Linderbaum. I've talked about it already. I would love to get Tyler Biotish. There's a couple of guys, veteran options, who I think would make a lot of sense. But it is also, to go with that, a very strong year for centers in the NFL draft. There's a lot of guys out there, once you get to the third round, even the fourth, that could help this team out. If you guys are excited about this future of this team, if you believe in what Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles can do with this extra draft capital, with this extra money, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're hyping up the video. Make sure you're commenting in chat. But, yeah, I do too. I like Tyler Biotish. To me, when it comes to Tyler Linderbaum, I just think he's a guy who would give us potentially the best interior offensive line in all of NFL. And that's hard to pass up on. The super fan, thank you so much for the super chat. I like this. I think she's saying, I think Jahdae Walker is DJ's replacement. All that kid did was, when he was on the field, was make plays. I think he'll develop into a real weapon. Listen, I talked about Jahdae a little bit earlier in this live. He's a guy who he has made clutch plays for us. He's a guy who now with DJ being gone, we have an opportunity to give him some more reps on this offense. Also, if someone gets hurt, say Rome gets hurt or something. I saw people talking about Rome. Rome is if that happens, a guy like Jahdae Walker is going to get an opportunity. And a guy like Jahdae Walker, if he gets an opportunity and he steps up, I think he's going to be a good player. I think he could be a good player for us. So I can't be mad at this, guys. Howie, I will address this real quick, though, because I've seen a lot of people say this. Yes, guys, we all know. Willie, we all know, man. Everyone has said it now. We've been saying it for 30-plus minutes now. It's DJ and a 5th rounder for a 2nd-round pick. Yes, we don't have to keep repeating that in the chat. I will address it one more time. I've seen a lot of people say this, though, that no way should we pay 18 to 20 million for Tyler Linderbaum. I get it. We were paying 14 million for Drew Dahlman. I think Linderbaum is much better than Drew Dahlman. If you add Tyler Linderbaum to this team, we would probably have the best run blocking offensive line in all of football. Can you imagine running behind Tyler Linderbaum, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright on the right side? I'm telling you, we would get so much push off the line of scrimmage. There would be so many holes open. And on top of this, guys, listen, I keep seeing people say that we can't afford this or we can't afford that. Stop it. Stop it. We have as much flexibility with our salary cap as any team in the entire National Football League right now. We're not, now that we're paying DJ Moore, or now that DJ Moore's gone, there isn't a single player on this team making over $25 million a year. The Packers have 3 players making more than $40 million a year. We don't have a single guy making over $25 million. If you don't think we can afford to pay Tyler Linderbaum, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. We can afford it. We can. It just matters how this team wants to, where they want to put those assets at. But right now, we're not paying a quarterback. And for the next 2 to 3 years, we can spend as much money as we want pretty much anywhere. If they want to add another edge rusher like a Trey Hendrickson, we can do it. If we want to get the best center in football and have Tyler Linderbaum, we can do it. We can pay for an edge and a center. We can. We're not paying a quarterback. We can easily pay for an edge and a center. Next year, all we have to do is backload one of the deals, push off some of the big cap hits for 1 year. And then next year, you can cut Dio Odangbo, you can cut Grady Jarrett, and you can open up another $50 million in cap space. We can, guys. We can be aggressive. That is the one thing I have to stress because people do not seem to understand it. A lot of people just keep saying we can't afford it. We can't afford it. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can get an edge and we can get a center and we can bring back one of our safeties as well. We can do all of that. Yes. Yes, we can. I don't like how people are saying we can't afford it. We haven't even backloaded a single deal. Imagine if we start backloading deals or we write some void deals into these contracts. Look at how the Packers structured their deals, guys. They wrote Micah Parsons' contract. Let me just bring it up on the screen. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show people how some of these contracts are written because some people don't seem to understand it. We can look. All right. I'm going to pull up Micah Parsons' contract, okay? This is Micah Parsons' deal, right? And this is how you can structure deals if you wanted to, right? In order to create space this year. This is something you can do. All right. This was Micah Parsons' cap hit last year. $9.97 million. He was making less than $10 million last year. You see this? It doesn't matter how much you make per year. It matters how you structure the deal. Now, look, this year, he's only going to be a $19.2 million cap hit. And then 2027, it goes up to 26.8. And then 2028, it goes up to 42 million. And then look, here's where it's at, guys. You probably can't see it. I'm going to make it bigger. Micah Parsons cap hit, once you get, where'd it go? Oh, I got to move it over. Once you get to 2029, look at this, $73.7 million. That's called backloading a deal. And teams do this all the time to where you're not paying much money this year. So it's easy to backload one of these contracts. And you guys want to say, oh, you got to pay him $20 million a year, this, $20 million a year, that. You could pay him $5 million this year and $40 million in 2028 when we have $300+ million in cap space. That is something that can be done very easily. Teams in the NFL do this. Now, the Packers have put themselves in a position where they have two players with pretty much $75 million cap hits coming up because they did this same thing with Jordan Love. Right now, the Chicago Bears, we don't have a single player on this roster that has a backloaded deal. So when you guys are saying we can't do this or we can't afford this, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're simply wrong. The Bears can afford to be ultra aggressive. This is what I've been trying to tell people. And yes, super fan, thank you so much for a super chat. But yes, this is not only is Linderbaum one of the best centers to ever come out of Iowa. Yes, he's a beast. I think Linderbaum is one of the best centers I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if people understand this, and I know a lot of people don't watch tape on offensive line. But look, you don't even have to try to watch Linderbaum highlights, right? Just go out on YouTube and look at the Ravens highlights. Just watch Ravens highlights, and he is a guy who will stand out to you. He absolutely demolishes people. He gets push off the line, and he pancakes guys at a rate that is insane. Yes, and Dahlman's retirement freed up another $10 million to where we can go out there and get a guy like Tyler Linderbaum. I'm not hyping Linderbaum up. I personally think and have thought for a long time that he's one of the best centers I've ever seen. Now, I was also really high on Jackson Powers-Johnson, but he hasn't developed like that at the NFL level. But coming out of college, Linderbaum is a guy I wanted. He was absolutely phenomenal at Iowa. And he is now transitioned that into the NFL. He is 25 years old and has been to 3 straight Pro Bowls. He's an all-pro center. This is a guy who would give us the best interior offensive line in the NFL. Now, I think if you can solidify the left tackle position and sign Linderbaum, we'd probably have a top 3 offensive line in all of football. So I do think that's something we have to consider. Now, are we going to get Linderbaum? I don't know. It's probably tough. He can obviously go anywhere he wants. Every team in the league is going to want Tyler Linderbaum. But when I'm thinking about it and I'm imagining this guy on the line, he is better than Drew Dahlman was. So this is one where you can actually upgrade. Drew Dahlman retires, and we still find a way to upgrade. I need a drink. Getting thirsty over here. Okay. I got to address this too, guys. I got to address this. Okay. I love when people, this is one of the things I love about doing live shows. And when people make a comment, it could put me on something that's a little bit off topic, but I know a lot of people are thinking about. Do not, and I repeat, do not trade Montez Sweat. Here's the difference between trading Sweat and trading DJ Moore. When you're talking about DJ Moore, right? DJ Moore's production was 600 yards, right? And you have guys on the roster already who can step up and replace DJ Moore. You have Colston Loveland. You have Luther Burden. You have Romo Dunze. You have Jahdae Walker. When it comes to the defensive line, Montez Sweat was our best player. Who is replacing those 10 sacks? Yes, we have Austin Booker, but you need more on the defensive line. Right now, Montez Sweat is our best player on the defensive line. You want to add more talent around Montez Sweat, not get rid of Sweat. To me, I hate that narrative. It drives me nuts when people say we should trade Montez Sweat. I think no. Right now, that is a no, 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 no. You want to add another pass rusher to help out Montez Sweat. And then you want to add a defensive tackle to help the line as well. Not trade away the best player we have on the defensive line. To me, that's a no. I got to say that no. Linderbaum is not 30% better than Dahlman. Well, Dahlman's not even in the NFL right now, so he's 100% better than Dahlman at this point. You got to think about this with Dahlman too, man. I love Drew Dahlman, and I don't think anybody should be talking bad about Dahlman. He made a decision, and he made that decision. I will say one thing. This is why another reason why I think, hey, we should backload some contracts, because Ryan Poles has been front loading deals. The way Ryan Poles has been writing contracts has been to give us the flexibility so that we can be aggressive this offseason. We wouldn't be in this position without the way that Ryan Poles has written his deals. And the way he has done that, he wrote Montez Sweat's contract, Jalen Johnson's, DeAndre Swift's, Cole Kmet's, even guys like Drew Dahlman as well. All of these contracts he front loaded. Think about this with Drew Dahlman's deal, right? He signed a 3-year, $42 million deal. He made 18 of that $42 million last season. That's roughly half. Roughly half of his 3-year deal he made upfront in year one. So if Dahlman's contract would have been written the opposite way, say he only made $8 million last year and he made $7 million this year, and then he was going to make $20 million in year 3. Do you think Dahlman would have retired? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. No, but so that's just something else to think about there. But when it comes to Tremaine Edmunds, I see a lot of people asking this as well. He has not been traded yet, but you can go ahead and count that cap money, because Tremaine Edmunds' time as a Chicago Bear is done. He will be, if he's not traded, he will be released. Yeah, I honestly at this point, excuse me, I'm coughing now. I think Tremaine Edmunds will be released if we can't find a trade. I'll take questions for a few more minutes, guys. I'm already over an hour here. I just wanted to break the DJ Moore trade news. But we've had a very active chat. I've been trying to address all of your guys' questions, all the concerns, talk about why this is something that's going to happen. I was the one guy who's been talking that I thought DJ Moore was going to be traded. I've thought that since we drafted Luther Burden, honestly. When you were looking at last year at round 2, after we took Colston Loveland in the first, and then you take Luther Burden in round 2, to me the writing was on the wall that Ben Johnson said, look, I like DJ Moore, but I can handpick my own guys here. And it's not like we planned for Luther Burden to be here. Luther Burden fell to us. When Luther Burden, who to me was a top 15 player in last year's draft, he falls to us in round 2, that was an absolute gift for us. Linderbaum is 25. So when you get that kind of gift, to me, the writing was just on the wall there that, hey, at this point now, now that we've got Luther Burden, at some point it made sense to trade DJ Moore. Now, I actually guaranteed last year, because people thought we were going to trade him last year for a little bit. And I said, no, you don't trade DJ yet. The reason was you wanted to give Luther Burden a year to develop. You wanted to see what you had in Colston Loveland, and you wanted to also let Rome Odunze develop a little bit. So there was a lot that goes into that. But once we got past last season, and you're talking about moving forward, Luther Burden now should get some more targets. Colston Loveland has already proved that he's probably a top 10, top 5 tight end in the NFL already at age 21. He's got that Travis Kelce type upside. He can be the number 1 wide receiver on this team, even if he's not a wide receiver. So when you have that, and then you have Rome Odunze, you have Jahdae Walker, you have Luther Burden, you have Cole Kmet, and you can still sign another value receiver. You can still draft a receiver in the 4th round. You can still draft some. A lot of things you can still do here. But when it comes down to it, to me, the writing was on the wall for DJ after we had made those draft picks. So it is a tough day. I love DJ Moore. I'm always going to be a big fan of DJ Moore. I wish him nothing but the best in Buffalo. But getting a 2nd round pick for DJ Moore and clearing up that cap space, that's a home run to me. To me, this is a home run move. And it continues. Yeah, it's a done deal. Now, it won't be official until next Wednesday. We have to get to the new league year. Trades can't actually be processed until we get to the new league year. But as of right now, yes, DJ has been traded with a 5th round pick to the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, Howie, I'm very familiar with the RAS compare. The RAS guy, the guy who creates that, actually follows me on Twitter. He's a good dude, really good dude. The guy I like late in the draft, we're talking about a wide receiver to add, because I see a lot of people are asking about that. Kevin Coleman Jr. out of Missouri. Watch that name. I think he'd be a great fit. Yeah, but if we can get another 3rd rounder, imagine if we could trade for Tyson Bagent even right now. If we could trade Tyson Bagent for a 2nd round pick, oh my God. It'd be crazy. I've been talking nonstop for over an hour here. I'm losing my voice a little bit, guys. Let's get in your final questions, and I'll make a quick recap on this as well, so people don't have to watch the entire hour to see what's going. I think Kevin Coleman will slide to the 3rd or 4th round. I don't think he's a 2nd round pick. Do we go left tackle at 25? Whew. I think it's possible. I also think, honestly, getting another 2nd round pick, it makes trading for Max Crosby more feasible. I still would rather we go after Trey Hendrickson, but I do think it makes it more feasible. We will know if we get the comp picks by Wednesday. The NFL should announce the comp picks by the time we get to the new league year. So by the time we get to Wednesday, roughly 5 or 6 days from now, we will know. Let's see. For Simmons, you talking about Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans? It's possible. I mean, it's possible. You can't rule anything out now that we got extra picks. We know that Ryan Poles has shown in the past, if the right player is available, he would trade a 2nd round pick for him. I mean, he traded a 2nd round pick for Chase Claypool, but he also traded a 2nd round pick for Montez Sweat. And now that we got a second round pick, anything's possible. Hendrickson is not always hurt. That's crazy. He's one of only 2 players in NFL history who has 17.5 sacks more than 1 year. 2 times he's done that. The guy who's actually always hurt is Max Crosby. 8 surgeries. So I don't agree with that, man. I also think we could get a pick from Tremaine Edmunds trade. It's going to come down to it. We'll see. But I appreciate all you guys, man. Look, the bottom line the bottom line of this is a Ben Johnson move. This was Ben Johnson's decision, but the Bears now have an opportunity, an incredible opportunity here to go out and make this team better. But trading DJ Moore does not instantly make this team better. That's all I'll say right now. But we have an opportunity here to get a lot better with the draft picks we have and the money we have here. I think this team can be a lot better this year. And I have faith in Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson to go out there and use this pick and this money in the right way. I do expect more moves to come, guys. Oh, that's a tough one. I'll answer this one. Hold on. Linderbaum or Hendrickson, you only get one. Which one do you choose? Man, that's tough. I honestly think I'd go Linderbaum because he's 25 years old. Hendrickson will be great, but at the age and the money, you're going to pay less for Linderbaum. I would go Linderbaum, and I would then maybe sign a situational pass rusher. If you can get Linderbaum and then sign Khalil Mack and draft another defensive end in the draft, I think that would be the best situation. That's my final thought on it. How do you figure? It doesn't make us better instantly because you got to do something with those picks, Levante. I'm saying we have the opportunity to be a lot better for it to make us a lot better. But until we know what we're doing with that pick and what we're doing with the money, it doesn't just instantly make the team better. Trading away a guy as good as DJ Moore doesn't just instantly make your team better. That's what I'm saying. But it gives us an opportunity here to improve the team and make the team a lot better. Spread the assets out, make the defense better, and we can still replace his production on offense. I thought I was pretty clear with that, but that's what I mean by that. But instantly, it doesn't make us better. It gives us the opportunity to be a lot better. But I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for everybody who hung out in the chat. Before you leave, if you haven't hit that like button yet, hit the like button because I'm losing my voice. I'll be back later today with more. There's a lot going on here, guys. I do expect more moves to come, but I appreciate everybody that hung out, talked about this live as we broke the news. DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. Everyone in this chat wishes you the best, DJ. We're going to remember that catch you made against the Packers forever. We love you. Wish him nothing but the best, but I do believe this is what's best for the Chicago Bears. Bear down, everyone. I appreciate you guys, and more news is coming. Stay tuned, and until next time,